Right, so just thought I'd do a little clip of a demonstration of something I've seen in a book. This is what's described as a woodcock spring. It's basically a foothold snare for woodcock. Basically you produce a little wall, not very high, just high enough that will put the woodcock crossing over. They don't seem to like crossing big stones or anything like that, and they'll always look for a break. This trap could be used for pheasants and partridges. You could just scale up the hedge, the wall or the hedge a bit better. Obviously you would put this in areas where woodcock feed, maybe across a marshy part in a woodland or down in a ditch like down there. That'd be an ideal spot. Basically you've got a loop in the ground with a toggle. That toggle wants to go back through that loop in this direction, but you've created this loop trigger which is pulling on tension, being held in place by that peg. So the tension's getting pulled across here and it wants to go up to a hazel sapling. I've used bank line to hold the trigger ring together and the spring. It's simple, it's just a length of string with a toggle in the middle, tied into the line halfway along with two loops at either end. One loop is the pass through itself to go onto the end of the hazel spring, and the other one basically creates its own loop. So you may want to put another sort of rock here just to make them want to go straight over the treadle in the loop. Like I say, it's just a little wall. You could scale this up, you could use this to catch pheasants, pigeons, most birds really that are feeding on the ground. But I've set this up as described in a old book of how to catch woodcock. Just thought that would be an interesting thing. Basically the woodcock comes along, it's feeding, wading into the soil for worms and other invertebrates, hits the wall, doesn't want to cross, follows it along to a gap where it can get through. It wants to step onto the treadle and it's lifted by the spring port. As you can see, all I've done at this end, tie a little loop that you pass this line through and it creates a bit of a slip and knot like a snare, and you do the exact same at the top end, a bit blurry, to attach it to the spring pole, and the toggle is literally just tied in halfway along. I'll just show you the trigger loop. It's just a piece of hazel bent around into a loop carefully, tied together with a knot pulled in it. So through the tension of the toggle, it wants to pull this across, so it adds tension. This isn't removed from this peg, it's just pulled across, but it makes a nice little treadle, and that's just another bit of hazel pushing it to the ground firmly. I haven't got a tripod, so I can't really show you how it's done, but I suppose I could show you a rough idea. So if I hold the toggle, you've got to be really careful with these spring poles, but as you can see there's a bit of a chisel-y point on the end. So basically it wants to, this is really hard with one hand to be honest. As you can see by there, I pushed it through the outside part of the loop in. As you can see, the tension wants to bring the toggle back around through there. I'm not going to be able to do this one hand, I didn't bring a tripod or anything, but as you can see basically it just whips through. It wants to whip back this way, the tension's pulling this, the lower part of the toggle out, which is then hooked onto that notch. Once it's locked in place, you can then spread the snare noose across the treadle. So that was just a little quick video. I know I don't do many videos anymore or very often, but I just thought I'd do a quick one on trapping. I do like making primitive style traps. I've been really getting back into it recently, but I just thought that would be an interesting one, a primitive spring trap for catching woodcock. So I say just a little one. Sorry I couldn't demonstrate the snare loop. If you follow, I'm going to post a couple of pictures on Instagram, so if you're interested in how this is set closer up, I'll have the pictures on Instagram probably later in the day. But let's say just an interesting little video on how to snare woodcock. Let's say you could use this for pheasants or other birds and pheasants. You could use this as in a gap in a hedge, or you could put it in open ground, spread bait around it until the bird steps on the loop treadle. Yeah, it was just a little quick video. Struggling to get out the light in the day is a bit short, and once I'm at work I don't finish until after dark anyway, so videos are few and far between, or opportunities to make videos are few and far between. But that was just a little video. I'll put a link, I'll probably put the name of the book in the description or on Instagram. But just a little video on a spring trap for snare and woodcock. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the trail soon.